In the midst of World War II, as German U-boats prowled the Atlantic, threatening vital supply lines to Europe, the United States Navy faced a desperate need for fast, versatile, and durable ships that could protect convoys, hunt submarines, and survive the harshest conditions at sea. One class of ships would answer that call, a class designed not just to fight, but to endure, adapt, and safeguard the lifeline of the Allied war effort. This is the story of the USS Rudderow, a destroyer escort that represents the ingenuity, determination, and unsung heroism of America's naval arsenal during the greatest conflict in history. The story of the USS Rudderow begins in 1942, a time when the United States Navy was racing against the clock to counter the deadly U-boat threat that menaced the Atlantic and imperiled Allied logistics. With early destroyer escort classes like the Buckley, Cannon, and Escort proving both the concept and the limitations of mass-produced anti-submarine vessels, naval architects had the opportunity to combine lessons learned from prior ships with the urgent demands of modern warfare. The Navy wanted a ship that could achieve the perfect balance of speed, armament, and endurance, while remaining simple enough to build in large numbers. And thus the Buckley-class hull was once again chosen as the basis for this new generation of destroyer escorts. Steam turbine propulsion replaced diesel engines, which, though in greater supply than before, were still considered too slow for the increasingly fluid nature of naval warfare. Powered by turboelectric drives, the USS Rudderow could reach speeds of 24 knots, with additional bursts available in emergencies, while maintaining a range of 5,500 nautical miles, enough to traverse the Atlantic without constant refueling. This design choice exemplified the Navy's careful attention to operational requirements and the lessons learned from previous escort classes. Unlike earlier ships modeled heavily on British frigates with high, open bridges, the Rudderow featured a lower, fully enclosed American-style bridge, trading some situational awareness for reduced top weight, improved stability, and a more habitable command center for long missions under extreme weather conditions. Armament also received significant upgrades. The three single 3-inch guns of earlier destroyer escorts were replaced with two 5-inch/38 dual-purpose guns mounted fore and aft, standardizing firepower with the rest of the fleet, and freeing deck space for additional 40mm Bofors and 20mm Oerlikon anti-aircraft guns. Depth charge racks, Hedgehog anti-submarine projectors, and a triple torpedo tube completed the arsenal, allowing the Rudderow to engage a wide variety of threats, from U-boats lurking beneath the waves to aircraft patrolling overhead. The ship's sonar and radar systems, improved over earlier designs, allowed early detection and coordinated attacks against enemy submarines, giving her a reputation as a formidable hunter of undersea threats. Laid down at the Philadelphia Navy Yard in late 1943, launched in early 1944, and commissioned shortly thereafter, the USS Rudderow immediately joined the crucial convoy escort operations that sustained the Allied war effort. Her Atlantic missions were long, often dangerous and monotonous, involving day and night vigilance against submarine attacks, treacherous weather, and the constant pressure of protecting hundreds of merchant ships carrying men, ammunition, and vital supplies to the European theater. Crew life on board was a delicate balance of rigorous duty, cramped living conditions, and the camaraderie born from facing danger together. Sailors had to master complex machinery, operate advanced radar and sonar systems, and maintain weapons in readiness at all times, all while enduring the cold, wet, and unpredictable conditions of the North Atlantic. The ship's success in convoy missions underscored the importance of destroyer escorts. Though small and lightly armed compared to cruisers and battleships, they were agile, versatile, and indispensable in safeguarding the supply lines that ultimately determined the outcome of the war. As World War II drew to a close, the original plan to build 252 Rudderow-class ships was reduced drastically due to shifting strategic priorities, including the growing size of U.S. invasion forces and the introduction of the John C. Butler-class destroyer escorts with fully geared steam turbines. Only 22 were completed to standard destroyer escort specifications, with many others converted to Crosley-class fast troop transports, reflecting the Navy's pragmatic adaptation to wartime needs. After the war, USS Rudderow, like many of her sisters, was placed into the reserve fleet, though she would briefly return for training missions before eventually being retired and scrapped during the 1960s and 1970s. Yet the legacy of the class persisted. One ship, the USS Rushkin, served in the Colombian Navy from 1969 to 1980 and now survives as a museum ship, a testament to the durability and lasting significance of these warships. The USS Rudderow exemplified the Navy's ability to innovate under pressure, combining speed, firepower, and practicality in a vessel that, while not glamorous, was crucial to Allied success. Her design reflects a careful balancing act of operational priorities, propulsion choices that maximized speed and efficiency, armament that harmonized with fleet standards while ensuring effective anti-air and anti-submarine capability, and structural decisions that enhanced habitability and stability for her crew. Beyond her technical specifications, the Rudderow's story highlights the human element of naval warfare. The thousands of sailors who relied on these ships for survival, the engineers and shipbuilders who turned blueprints into seaworthy vessels under wartime urgency, and the broader strategic vision of a navy that sought to dominate the seas through numbers, reliability, and tactical innovation. Studying USS Rudderow today offers insight into mid-20th century naval architecture, anti-submarine warfare tactics, and the industrial scale of America's war effort, while also honoring the often overlooked ships and crews whose dedication ensured the safe passage of troops and supplies across dangerous waters. From her conception and construction to her wartime service and post-war reserve status, USS Rudderow stands as a symbol of the ingenuity, resilience, and quiet heroism that defined the United States Navy during World War II, illustrating how a relatively small and specialized vessel could play an outsized role in securing victory, protecting convoys, and shaping the future of naval design for decades to come. Every detail, from the choice of steam turbines to the placement of anti-aircraft guns, from the enclosed bridge to the upgraded radar and sonar systems, reflects the Navy's commitment to adaptability, efficiency, and effectiveness under pressure, traits that ensured the Rudderow-class destroyer escorts earned their place in history as vital guardians of the seas and unsung heroes of the Allied maritime campaign.